Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. Today the topic, a city on the Strip. Ray Hager's got the rundown.
Today's guest is Alan Feldman, the Senior Vice President of Public Affairs for the MGM Mirage. They have a huge project going in Las Vegas, the City Center project, with 5,000 hotel rooms, private businesses, condos. But where are you going to find parking?
And coming up on the Power Pundit panel today, Pete Krueger, Dick Gammick, and Howard Rosenberg. It's all coming up next on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
Many of the materials we rely on every day come from the ground, and modern mining technology brings them to us cleaner and safer than ever before. To learn more about America's natural resources, visit nma.org, the National Mining Association.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years.
Where do I want to go?
Me?
Denver. Anchorage, Alaska.
Atlanta. Vancouver.
Chicago.
We can help you get where you need to be
Paris.
or want to be.
Yankee
Reno
Stadium.
Tahoe International
Fenway
Airport. Anytime, any place, anywhere.
Anywhere.
Minneapolis.
St. Paul.
Over 170 daily
Houston.
flights, nonstop service to
Washington,
19
D.C.
cities and connections
Elko.
everywhere else. Reno Tahoe International Airport, dedicated to moving you.
Jupiter.
When you need a new employee, how can you be sure who you're really hiring? A background investigation by Employer Links will uncover criminal records, verify the applicant's education, check their credit history and Social Security verification. An investigation will research professional licenses and driver's licenses and let you know why they're unemployed. Hiring the right person shouldn't be a gamble. Call Employer Links. Employer Links, protecting your investment. This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And welcome back to Nevada Newsmakers. Our guest today is Alan Feldman. He's the Senior Vice President for Public Affairs for MGM Mirage. After all the mergers are complete, it will be the second largest gaming company in the world, although it may be nudging its way into being the largest one with the announcement of this new project. Welcome to the program, Alan.
Thank you, Sam.
Okay, let me see if my math is right here. For Project City Center, if you add up all the rooms between hotel rooms and the boutique hotels and the condominiums, it sounds like about 6,850 rooms. Over 500,000 square feet of retail dining on 66 acres. It's a $3 to $4 billion project, which would make it double about anything else that anybody's put up so far. 12,000 permanent jobs, 7,000 construction jobs. Am I close?
That's all exactly right. I mean, all of that adds up to the largest privately funded development in the nation right now.
Okay, who came up with this concept and why?
Well, I don't think the good ideas have any singular, singular idea person behind them. I think that this has really been evolving. We knew that we had a phenomenal piece of land on what was at that time 55 acres. We're actually taking some of the land off the Bellagio site to compile the 66 acres needed to do this. And a couple of years ago, we had talked about doing a Gen X project, is sort of how we termed it, but something for the next generation. And as just these last couple of years have developed, as we've begun to look toward the centennial of Las Vegas, which you know is this year, I think a lot of us began to realize that we were focused more on a market segment instead of focusing on the market as a whole. And we began to have discussions about what Las Vegas was all about and where Las Vegas was going, as opposed to which market or sub-market group we were trying to attract. and the idea began to take hold. I mean, if you want to know the first person to give voice to it was probably Jim Murren, our president and chief financial officer, but many others have contributed since and turned it into what is now, as I say, not only the largest privately funded project in the country right now, but certainly the most dynamic project of its kind ever to come to the state of Nevada.
Alan, when this project is completed, there could be also a new baseball stadium in Las Vegas for a Major League Baseball team. Is there any connection between the acquisition of the team and this city center project?
No, the notion of a team coming to Las Vegas, I think, is still one that's going to require an awful lot of discussion. The reality of baseball coming to Las Vegas is that the baseball owners themselves are going to have to understand that Las Vegas is a very different city than the cities that they've gotten to build them stadiums in the past. We're a city where entrepreneurs come, put their money down, and compete for business, both by creating a marketplace and then taking advantage of the marketplace. This is not a market that we're just going to roll over and build a stadium for wealthy baseball owners so that they can come bring the team, leave it here for a couple of years, and then move it on to some other place. So the notion of a baseball team coming here, I think, is still very much in question. It would be terrific. I happen to be a lifelong baseball fan of several generations in my family, and I'd love to see Major League Baseball here, but as a member of the business community, we only want to see it here on a level playing field with everyone else, and that means that the owners are going to need to come here and understand that they need to bring their money with them if they want to build a stadium.
All right. Let me ask you this, because this is the thing that intrigues me about the Project City Center, is the fact that, normally when you have growth outside of a city, you want to have people living and working outside of that city so you don't have the transportation running backwards and forwards. You're doing a similar thing right there on the Strip in Las Vegas, am I not correct? That you are actually going to have an environment where people not only work, have an entertainment project, but also living, office space, etc., correct?
That's absolutely right. There's a tremendous amount of demand to be in the middle of all of the excitement of Las Vegas and of the Strip, and we're seeing it now in the numerous number of high-rise developments that are either underway or have permits that have been pulled for them. I mean, 4 years ago, I think the only project, or maybe two projects that were out there, we had Turnberry, which was over in Paradise Road, and the Mulaski Group had a smaller but very luxurious property called Park Towers over in the Howard Hughes Center just off the Strip. And that was it. Today, I think that there are something along the lines of 36 projects that are either underway or have had permits pulled for high-rise residential development. We can clearly see that what's beginning to happen to Las Vegas is not entirely unlike if any of your viewers are familiar with San Diego of 25 or 30 years ago. You can begin to see the same kinds of trends where Las Vegas is becoming a much more important city, not just for tourism, although tourism is clearly the major factor here, but there are many other industries that are doing very well here: real estate, banking, financial services, among others. And we're also beginning to see new kinds of businesses here, technology and medical technology among them. So the future is clear. Las Vegas is clearly going to see over the course of the next couple of decades, as we really start thinking about the next 100 years, a significant shift from a major tourist destination into a major regional city.
Let's take a break. We'll come back with more with Alan Feldman, Senior Vice President for Public Affairs for MGM Mirage. Fascinating stuff. Right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this.
Nevada Newsmakers, brought to you in part by Sunbelt Communication.
Siegfried and Roy presents Darren Romeo.
There's magic in his voice, and there's music in his magic.
Brilliant young talent like this is very rare.
The music of the night. I'm Darren Romeo.
Unbelievable. Wow. Fantastic.
Dinner and show package from $27.95. Call the Eldorado at 786-5700.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Ken Dillon, owner of Van Dyne Roofing, can get it fixed with his eyes closed.
Something spectacular has taken wing not far from Reno or Lake Tahoe, and never far from your mind. An escape of fine dining and legendary golf. Introducing the resort at Red Hawk. And at the center of it all, we've feathered our nest with new villas that have elevated Red Hawk to the status of a premier resort. The Resort at Red Hawk, a beautiful new arrival in northern Nevada.
It's America's largest historical district, and it's fun for the entire family. Virginia City is where the West comes alive every day, from train rides to gunslingers. Your gang can explore mines and interesting museums, visit historic saloons, and do some great shopping. Virginia City is the ultimate in family entertainment, and it's very affordable. Come up and stay overnight in our hotels, motels, and RV park. Virginia City, the Wild West at its best.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad.
And we're talking with Alan Feldman, who's Senior Vice President for Public Affairs at MGM Mirage.
Mr. Feldman, as you know, MGM Mirage and Peel Holding of England announced in April that they're planning to build 3 casinos in the United Kingdom plus an entertainment complex. But because the city center project is so vast, I mean, it's the largest privately funded project in U.S. history, can you still expand into England, or is this going to take some of that expansion away?
No, actually, our expansion plans are quite aggressive, and they include not only England, but they also include Macau and possibly Singapore, where we're in conversations, along with other companies, with the government about the possibility of gaming there. A couple of things to note. First off, the balance sheet of our company is as strong or stronger than it's ever been. Our ability to access capital has never been as strong. In order to finance the acquisition of Mandalay Resort Group, we needed to establish a bank line of credit somewhere in the neighborhood of $6 or $7 million, and it was oversubscribed. We had well in excess of $9 billion in offers from banks who wanted to participate. So I think that gives you some indication of the enthusiasm from the financial community to participate in this industry right now. So we have no concerns about the ability to finance these future expansion plans, and they're not all going to happen at once. England is in the midst of a political process that certainly, would be unlikely to see actual construction begin at a minimum for a year, maybe even a little longer. Singapore is only in the early stages of this. Macau is actually the one that might start up a bit sooner. But in any or all of these cases, we're fully confident in our ability to work out financing for them.
Alan, one of the things that we often talk about in northern and southern Nevada is diversification. We usually tend to think of that in terms of other businesses, but the gaming industry, and MGM Mirage in particular, is diversifying within itself, because gaming itself is no longer the major income driver, is it, in Las Vegas?
No, it isn't. That's actually an extremely important point, Sam. What has happened over the last decade, and it really began with the Mirage in 1989, and then the other properties that have come along in this marketplace, places like the MGM Grand, like Treasure Island, even to an extent like Luxor and Mandalay Bay, they all began to place the emphasis of their development in a much more diverse way. It wasn't just the casino. They began to put in beautiful hotel rooms, great restaurants, paid much more attention to retail, and that has evolved more and more with even greater speed over the last decade, to the point now where in our company we had about $4 billion in revenue last year. Little over 51% of that was from non-gaming, and the remainder from gaming. And that includes Detroit, where there is virtually no non-gaming revenue. So if you take Detroit out, obviously the numbers go even more on the non-gaming side. And the trend is very clear that that's going to continue.
And this is not low margin stuff. I mean, you're making serious money on the non-gaming side of the ledger as well, correct?
No, if it's managed properly. I mean, part of the challenge of the Las Vegas market is that the price of entry is not small. I mean, you can't just open up any restaurant. You've got to open up something special. You can't just open any nightclub. It's got to be something special. But once you've done that, If you manage your business well and you market it properly, the rewards can be great. And the margins, in fact, in the non-gaming side can in some cases be greater than the gaming. And a lot of that has to do with the enormous growth of gaming outside of Nevada, and of late, particularly the Indian gaming in California.
Mr. Feldman, looking at this project and others planned for Las Vegas, what is the city going to look like in 10 to 15 years? What kind of city are we going to leave to our sons and daughters?
Well, I'm hopeful that we are going to leave a much more cosmopolitan city to our children. I mean that very literally. I have 4 children, and I think about this on a daily basis. I think that there are 3 areas that we need to work on in Las Vegas, and they're areas our company is deeply involved in. Those are education, culture, and medicine. Those are 3 areas that we need to focus on as a community, and it's a good time with the centennial upon us to sort of stop and think about exactly that. I mean, I think, Ray, that's a great way of putting it. What is the city we're going to leave for our kids? We hope that it's a city that has many more cultural opportunities. We're working now on the building of a performing arts center downtown, which will go a long way toward that, but that's just the first step. There are many others to evolve the cultural experience of Las Vegas for residents. The second is the university. We have a wonderful university, but we really need to take a look at the larger experience, both for students and faculty as well for the community, of creating an environment, an educational environment around the university, so that it becomes a district within our city that you go to, and it's very identifiable.
Is this the Carol Harder project that she was talking about a little while ago?
Carol, I think, has done an absolutely superb job in identifying this as a need for the university, in creating what she refers to as Midtown. I think it's exactly the right idea. I went to UCLA. When you went to the campus at UCLA, it was almost a city unto itself. Anyone who's been there is probably well aware, especially if you ever had to park. It sure felt like a city. So parking problems aside, I think that we need to take a look at creating a much more dynamic environment around the university, both for the immediate issue of those who are attending, but also as a means of evolving the university. And then last but not least, medical. We still have too many circumstances where average folks, now I'm not talking about rich and famous people, I'm talking about everyday folk, are forced to leave this community for certain kinds of medical services. I want to be clear in saying this. We have a terrific community of doctors and medical support staff in this town. I'm not trying to suggest that they're not competent. What I'm talking about is the depth and breadth of their capabilities.
And Alan, I hate to tell you this, but we are running out of time here. Sure. And so I'm going to immediately invite you to come back next month, because we want to talk to you about some of the legislative aspirations of MGM Mirage. And obviously, we don't have time to get into these today, but we've really enjoyed having you on as guest. I have to make the point that my dad is 88 years old. Kirk Kerkorian is 88 years old. We see what Kirk Kerkorian is doing, and my dad we don't let drive. So Kirk is an amazing man. Thank you so much for being here. Really enjoyed it. We'll be back on Nevada Newsmakers right after this.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
So, who do you use for workers' comp?
Pro Group Management.
Ah, I've heard some good things about them.
Oh, you bet. Employee background checks, safety training, claim seminars. Oh, and here's the great part. If you have an issue, they work for you, not against you.
Sounds perfect. And expensive.
Well, that's the best part. They saved me 30%. I've heard they've saved others 50%.
Works for me. Pro Group Management. Finally, workers' comp that works for you.
It's the next best thing to having your own wine cellar. Come to the Bonanza Casino for a first in fine dining, reasonably priced wines. When you dine at Cactus Creek Southwestern Steakhouse, you can also enjoy a fine bottle of wine at just about the same price you'd pay at the Vineyard, Silver Oak, Robert Mondavi, Rombauer, Cakebread, Jordan, and Duckhorn, just to name a few. And at the lowest prices of any restaurant or casino in Northern Nevada. And remember, all fine wines are not in wine cellars. They're in the Cactus Creek at the Bonanza Casino, where locals come to play.
Thanks to an ongoing commitment by America's mining companies, more than 2 million acres already have been reclaimed. To learn more about reclamation or other aspects of mining, Visit nma.org. The National Mining Association.
If you own a business and want to maximize your company's potential, join the Retail Association of Nevada. Our membership benefits include the Nevada Retail Network Self-Insured Group, providing workers' compensation coverage that can lower your rates. That savings can go directly to your bottom line. We are an effective pro-business organization that lobbies on behalf of our business members. The Retail Association of Nevada, protecting Nevada businesses for 35 years.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad.
Okay, so the pundit panel already rowdy this morning here. We're joined by University Regent Howard Rosenberg, Peter Krueger with the Nevada Petroleum Marketers and Convenience Store Association, and Washoe County District Attorney Dick Gammick. Okay, Howard, this is a fascinating concept to me to see a casino actually putting in housing, office space, turning a real city. Has this been done anywhere before?
I don't know that it's been done anywhere before, Sam, but this is not a new concept. Mr. Hara had this concept years and years and years ago. It wasn't the right time, it wasn't the right place. Now everything seems to be coming together. What I particularly like about what I'm hearing is that the university is figuring into it very, very strongly. The mayor is very, very interested in an academic medical center. What I am disturbed about is they're calling this city center. The mayor's calling his project downtown city center. Who's going to win?
I don't know.
Mayor's only got 2 more years. We'll see.
He'll be back. Don't worry.
Or in Carson City.
Oh, okay. A $4 billion project on the Strip. Is that just mind-blowing?
It's overwhelming. And I think from people who represent allied industries, construction, fuel, all the kinds of industries that will be needed to support not only the construction, but the ongoing operation, it's a huge opportunity. And I think many of us thought 2 or 3 years ago the bloom had come off on the construction side and we'd seen everything, but no way. I mean, this is just fabulous. What's wrong in northern Nevada, I guess, is really what concerns me as we sit here in northern Nevada.
Well, I don't know that there is so much that's so wrong in northern Nevada. Atlantis, despite the massive snowstorms of the last couple of weeks, are saying that they're going to have another record quarter coming up, and their stock jumped significantly over the last couple of days. Peppermill is doing very well. You see other casino operators, Blake Sartini wanted to come into the marketplace with a project at the Mount Rose Highway. I think there are some challenges in terms of downtown, but I think that those are starting to be addressed. So I think the week are going to go away. I'm not sure that we have such a big problem.
On the 8th of February, which is a Tuesday, will be the grand opening for the new downtown event center. Rotary, RSCVA, and the City of Reno are all getting together to put that on. So you've got that opening up downtown. There's a lot of things happening downtown. We can't compete with Las Vegas.
And we shouldn't.
And I think that's pretty well accepted. We're not in the market with Las Vegas, so we've got our own market to take care of. And there's a lot going on here, and I really hate people keep knocking Reno because there's a whole lot going on.
But it's not a case of knocking Reno, Dick. Where are the no-growthers? We are about ready for another blast from whoever those, the Pete's Ferrazos of the world who claim that no growth, controlled growth is the right way for us. If we're going to get out of a drive-to market and have our tourists and our guests fly in, which I think is where the money is, then...
And Harris is actively involved in doing that.
No, wait a minute. There's something else. Let's go back to Las Vegas for a minute. This sounds absolutely fantastic. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. 12,000 jobs, all that kind of... These people are bringing families. These people are bringing children. Sure. That means that the school system is going to have even more demands put on it than it has now, and it has an awful time keeping up with it. I'm seeing it coming into the university. The kids aren't as well prepared as they should be. It isn't the teacher's fault. That's the thing that's really driving me nuts, because we keep trying to assign blame. It's an entire societal, cultural problem with where does the education fit in. It puts on a tremendous strain on all the services that have to be provided. Yeah. So that no growth is not the best thing in the world, but uncontrolled growth certainly isn't the best thing in the world either. All you got to do is try to get across Las Vegas.
Plan growth, the four-letter word, planning.
Yeah, but that's more than 4 letters, though.
Yeah, planning.
All right, so we can't count. It's a good idea.
One you don't use on TV.
Is 2 or 3% adequate growth for the North?
The thing he did not mention that kind of shocked me when he said, here's our three main criteria. He didn't mention infrastructure.
No.
And without the infrastructure, it's going to keep doing what it's doing down there. It's just going to keep exploding and not have the support, not only the schools, the roads, and everything else that need to be done. We don't need that up here. We've got enough problems and issues.
Well, I guess the issue that comes immediately to mind then is this property tax cap that everybody's talking about. It starts to become somewhat dangerous, doesn't it, Howard?
Yes, it does. It's scaring the living daylights out of me because it costs money to educate. But without the education, we consign people to low-paying jobs. They can't pay for the services that they need, and it's a loop that keeps going round and round and round. I'm preparing teachers who are going into a system that isn't prepared for them. And we keep replicating it over and over again so that when something like this comes in, Sam, they need to also consider all the services that are going to be impacted, and they've got to make some plans for those. The other thing that I think is intriguing, it's the first time I have ever heard a development or a developer say, well, if these people want to come in with a baseball stadium, they better bring money. Usually we're courting them, and we'll give them anything. Now, it seems to be a completely different attitude. I'm not sure it's the wrong attitude.
Yeah, but Howard, I think he's talking about we need private funding for that baseball stadium. They don't want any government funding. But let me change the subject 1 minute. Howard, I wanted to ask you...
That's all we have.
1 minute. Oh, okay.
I wanted to ask you, what do you think of the way that Dr. Lilly is handling the scandal at the Department of Agriculture, where the sheep have died and the pigs are being... given without water.
It's a very, very difficult situation.
But he's kind of he's bunker mentality.
And I'm not happy with that. By the same token, I also know that he is doing an aggressive investigation to find out exactly what is going on. And until that's done, it's inappropriate for me as a regent to say anything. I am disturbed, mightily disturbed. But by the same token, at this particular point, I don't think there's animals anywhere in this world that are better taken care of than the animals on the university campuses.
And we have to end this here with Howard admitting finally that he is disturbed. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
Where do I want to go? Me? Denver. Anchorage, Alaska.
Atlanta. Vancouver.
Chicago.
We can help you get where you need to be or want to be. Reno Tahoe International Airport. Anytime, any place, anywhere.
Anywhere?
Minneapolis.
St. Paul.
Over 170 daily flights, non-stop service to 19 cities and connections everywhere else. Reno Tahoe International Airport. Dedicated to moving you.
Jupiter.
When you need a new employee, how can you be sure who you're really hiring? A background investigation by Employer Links will uncover criminal records, verify the applicant's education, check their credit history and Social Security verification. An investigation will research professional licenses and driver's licenses and let you know why they're unemployed. Hiring the right person shouldn't be a gamble. Call Employer Links. Employer Links, protecting your investment.
And coming up tomorrow?
Well, Sam, we have potential governor, Congressman Jim Gibbons of Reno.
We'll see you then.
Thank you.